We're closed.
You don't look the sort who can afford to turn down legitimate work.
What do you want?
How about we start with a light?
The underwater world of Rapture holds a very special place for me, giving me a story experience I never thought possible when it came to the medium of gaming. And to be honest, not many games have been able to replicate that experience since. After the mind-blowing experience that was BioShock Infinite's storyline, it brought a smile to my face when I found out that the DLC for Infinite would take me back to that underwater city of Rapture. What I didn't expect was how BioShock Infinite Burial at Sea would bring the worlds of Rapture and Columbia full circle, closing the doors onto the most amazing and captivating worlds in gaming. Episode 1 of Burial at Sea is the only real letdown of this DLC, and should be seen as something more like a prologue. Its purpose seems to be more about easing the player back into the beautiful city of Rapture. Rapture has never looked more stunning, and this content really shows off what life just before the fall of Rapture was like. You are successfully transported back knowing what misfortune is about to come to this pristine city under the sea. From the citizens of Rapture to the characters whose fates you already know.
This one's a real biscuit.
I'm not going to say much about the story of Burial at Sea Episode 1, other than your Booker DeWitt hired to find a young girl by the name of Sally, and if you've played the other entries in the series, which for this DLC BioShock 1 is a must, then that's pretty much all you're going to want to know going into it. These versions of Booker and Elizabeth fit in quite nicely within the world of Rapture, and the themes that made BioShock Infinite such a memorable experience continue on through Burial at Sea. With Episode 1, as long as you can make it through all the same infinite combat with a Rapture coat of paint, you're given a great little precursor to some of the best downloadable content in gaming, in BioShock Infinite Burial at Sea, Episode 2.
Did that airplane crash? Or was it hijacked?
The BioShock games by Irrational have always seemed to put storytelling ahead of combat. In fact, oftentimes I've found that the combat actually slows down the intricate story they are trying to tell. Yet, with Episode 2 of Burial at Sea, the storytelling and combat are in perfect harmony with every opportunity taken to progress the story without it being broken up by heavy-handed combat. This is helped by Elizabeth being the protagonist of the episode and switched to more of a focus on stealth-based gameplay. You can of course go in guns blazing just like Booker, yet making your way through Rapture as Elizabeth is much more satisfying, sneaking up on your enemies and knocking them out, leaving them unconscious and snoring on the ground. The inclusion of the crossbow with its different tips brings an extra fun gameplay addition to help take out thugs and splicers in a non-lethal fashion. I actually found myself using the crossbow so much, I at times forgot that Elizabeth had plasmids at her disposal. Plasmids, while few, complement both aspects of gameplay.
I can get you back to Rapture.
And how you plan on doing that, sister? You some kind of magician?
Once again, I'm not going to say much about the story, other than this part of Burial at Sea is what great story-driven DLC is all about. It adds so much to the stories of Rapture and Columbia that it is an essential part of the universe in which BioShock takes place. It gives reason for characters' actions and also insight of just how connected all the different worlds in BioShock could be.
Do you know what they call someone who enters a man's home uninvited?
The story of BioShock has come a long way since the opening of that lighthouse door in BioShock 1. And for a game that was the reason for me going out and buying an Xbox 360, I've enjoyed every step of the way, through BioShock 1 and 2, to the jaw-dropping revelations in BioShock Infinite. While Burial at Sea is not without its flaws with its all-too-similar combat in Episode 1 and even trying to wrap your head around what could become all-too-confusing universe lore, what it adds to the BioShock experience is essential for any fan of the series. BioShock Infinite Burial at Sea is close to a perfect end to the stories of Rapture and Columbia, and is well deserving of an 8.5 out of 10.
So, pack up your troubles in your old kit bag and smile, smile, smile.